Tonight's topic is the problem of dirty hands. Now, that's not dirty hands, that's dirty hands. Yeah, and we're not talking actually about washing your hands because, through this pandemic, everybody should have learnt to do that. It's amazing that people needed to be told to do that, but, hopefully everyone now does wash their hands, especially when they touch something that isn't theirs. Um, but I digress. So, Dave, do you want to take us away and introduce us to the problem of dirty hands?
Yeah, no problem. The problem with dirty hands is both kind of political philosophy and moral philosophy, and it sort of asks the question: can we do the right thing by doing the wrong thing? Generally, it's when we're trapped in a position where we only have immoral choices that we can go through. Generally, it's when somebody else has put us in that position and given us only the options of doing something immoral. But you could sort of expand that for purposes of discussion and just include when you're in a position where you can only choose from immoral things. Is there a right thing that can be done?
So the way it would normally be described by people in general conversation would be the lesser of two evils kind of choice.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean the lesser of two evils is a very very easy way to put this sort of thing. Chris and I actually used to do a lot of push the red button, um, just to see how far we
much
could
fun.
push people's sensibilities because we would put
So far,
so far
so far.
we put really 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 horrible choices. You've got this horrible thing that you have to do, or this even worse thing that's going to do it. At what level would you agree to do this really horrible thing? Now, the problem of dirty hands is one of those ones that it sort of depends on the moral theory that you're actually examining it with, doesn't it? Because if it's a purely consequentialist moral theory, then really only the outcome is what matters to said, take on morality. The judgment, that's the word I was looking for. So if you get a good result at the end under a consequentialist moral theory, it would be moral. It just that's all that you need to know. But I mean, Dave, have you got a good example of something that we could say actually doing that immoral thing makes us go, oh?
Well, there's a few. One of the classic examples is from Michael Walzer, and it's the bombing of civilians. So think of World War II, and you had the Nazis invading Britain, giving it a final push. They're going to topple Britain, and by toppling Britain, they basically push their way through into the rest of Europe, and that's it. Europe falls to fascism. He calls that supreme emergency because it's, the fall of the free West sort of thing, or the fall of a free Europe. So the choice then is you can bomb civilians and wear out the country, make the country hate the leaders for being at war. Most of us would consider bombing innocent civilians to be an immoral action. But if it's the stake of the country, if the country's at stake and you're going to fall to fascism, does it become okay to bomb civilians?
I mean,
Yeah, it's like you say. Does it become okay? I wouldn't say that it is ever okay to do that, but it's definitely a better option.